Welcome again to the old principal 老校长的节目. We're going to look at another interesting story, a story that will help you improve your listening ability. This is going to be lesson 220, Night Chase. Night Chase. Okay, so let's listen to the story as Connie reads it, and then we'll come back and we'll look at the story in more detail.
Story 220, Night Chase. Alma Jones flipped off her radio as she parked her car. She didn't like the news. The announcer had related how several boys had been arrested by the police. Alma slid out of her car, hurried into the school and to her classroom. I'll be glad when I finish this class, she thought. I don't like that parking lot after dark. All during the class, she kept thinking about those boys, the darkness outside, and the long drive home. When class ended, Alma rushed toward her car, but she slowed as she neared it. She felt as if someone lurked nearby. As she opened the door, she saw two boys dashing across the campus, yelling at her. She jumped into her car, started the engine, and sped away. The boys ran back to their car and raced after her. Alma drove faster, turning many corners trying to escape, but they remained on her tail, their lights glaring through her back window. Frightened now, she raced home and screeched into her driveway. The boys stopped right behind her. Screaming for help, Alma leaped from her car. Her husband came running. "George!" she cried. "That car followed me home!" One of the boys emerged and said, "Lady, we don't want to hurt you. Look at your back seat." George approached the car and reached for the door, but it flew open. A big man scrambled out of the back seat and ran away. "We saw that man climb into your back seat," said Bob. "Yeah," added Bill. "We didn't know what to do, so when you came out, we tried to warn you, but you left so fast we couldn't." George and Alma thanked the boys, and they returned to their car. But Alma called after them, "Why did you follow me so closely?" "We hoped our bright lights would keep the man from getting up."
Okay, welcome again to our lesson 220, Night Chase. Now, Night Chase, 追 is to chase, okay? But we'll see how it works out in this lesson because Alma Jones flipped off her radio. Now, what does it say to mean when you say flip off? To flip off means to turn off, obviously, okay? To flip off is just another way of saying turned off her radio as she parked her car. So she is parking her car, she's turning off her radio. She did not like the news. Nowadays, who likes the news? I mean, the news is almost never good news. It's always bad news. 这个新闻不是好的，都是坏的。Going on, she had heard the announcer. Okay, this is probably the announcer that announced the news. This is the broadcaster, 报新闻的那位, had related how several boys had been arrested by the police. Several boys had been arrested by the police. Excuse me. Well, 被警察这个逮捕. Okay, so what's she thinking? She's thinking, oh dear, if they're arrested, maybe there are other boys around, and maybe those boys would cause her problems. So this is the way you begin to think. 开始乱想, okay? Your thinking, your thoughts are running away with each other. Going on, Alma slid out of her car, hurried into the school, and to her classroom. Okay, to slide out of the car, of course, when you get out of the car, you slide. Okay, that's how you get it. You get out of the car. 下车的时候, of course, you slide along. Okay, and she hurried to the school and hurried to her classroom. Now, this is a nighttime class. Okay, so this is nighttime. That's the reason why the title was Night Chase. Going on. I'll be glad when I finish this class, she thought. I don't like parking that parking lot after dark. Okay, I'll be glad when I finish this class. For some reason, she is taking a nighttime class. And she just was very concerned about the parking lot. She just did not like the parking lot after dark. 停车场, parking lot. After dark. She was afraid, well, of course, she had just heard the news, so she's thinking all of these bad thoughts, right? Going on. All during the class, she kept thinking about those boys. See, this is the problem. You're thinking about what you heard on the news. And said, well, I wonder, those boys were arrested, but maybe there are some others. And the darkness outside, of course, outside 已经黑夜. So she's worried about the boys. She is worried about the darkness. She is worried about the drive home. When it says worried about the drive home, that means she is worried about driving back home. Going on. When the class ended, Alma rushed toward her car, but she slowed as she neared it. She felt if someone lurked nearby. I think this is very important. When the class ended, and she rushed out of the building. Okay, why? She's thinking about all the bad people, and so she's rushing out. But as she got close to the car, as she got near 靠近她的车子的时候, she slowed down. Why did she slow down? She felt as if someone lurked nearby. Now, this is an interesting word. You know, I'm sure you've had the experience that you're doing something and somehow you just don't feel right. 你的感觉就不对劲啊. You just say, something's wrong, but I don't know what's wrong. We've all had that experience. So here she is. She rushes across the lot. As she gets near to her car, she slows down. She felt, 她感觉到, that there was somebody lurking in the dark. What does it mean to be lurking in the dark? 隐藏啊, or 藏在这个黑暗里. Somebody is hiding in the dark. This is just a feeling. She didn't see anything. She didn't know what was happening. She just felt 有这种感觉。Okay, going on. As she opened the door, she saw two boys dashing across the campus. Uh-oh. Now, what did she hear? She had heard the news about boys being arrested by the police. 警察逮捕他们. So, she opened her car door, and then she saw two boys dashing across the campus. 匆匆跑过这个校园. Okay? Dashing means running. Dashing usually means running very fast. So what's she thinking? Oh man, what's happening? She jumped into her car because these boys were yelling at her. 大喊叫, 喊叫. She jumped into her car. She didn't wait to see what they were saying. She jumped into her car, started the engine, and sped away. She jumped into her car, started the engine, and to speed away. It says sped away. 这个过去式. She sped away. She very quickly just ran off, drove away. Okay? So here she's afraid that they were going to hurt her. But fortunately, they weren't going to follow her, were they? No. She ran away. She was safe in her car. Her car was moving. She was going away. Next one. But the boys ran back to their car and raced after her. Alma drove faster, turning many corners, trying to escape. So you have the boys. They have run back to their car, okay, and they started chasing her. They were racing after her car, going very fast, chasing her. Alma drove faster. And the faster she drove, she went to corners and she turned around the corner and turned around the corner. She was trying to do what? She was trying to escape. Have you ever had that experience? A few times in my life, I have tried to follow people, and they're trying to escape. They go this way and so on. So I know that it's hard, but the boys kept following going on, but they remained on her tail, their lights glaring through the back window. Now, we're going to stop here for just a minute and explain a few words. They remained on her tail. Now, if you think about it, this is strange English. What is a tail? Of course, an animal has a 尾巴. Okay? So we know what a tail is, and they remained on her tail. Remained 就是留在它的尾巴上. Of course, 表面上 it does not make any sense. This is what we call 美国习惯用语. So when you see they remained on her tail, that means that 他们紧紧地跟着她，紧紧地跟着她. Okay, their lights glaring through the back window. their lights, 他们的前灯 okay, glaring, shining, glaring means very bright, shining, 这个照 through the back window, 它后面的窗户，车子后面的窗户 the lights are shining 透入 shining in here. So this is not a happy situation. She's going this way and this way and this way. Going on. Frightened now, she raced home and screeched into her driveway. So she was frightened. Of course, somebody is chasing her. And what's happening? She's thinking all about what she heard on the news. She's been worried about that. And these thoughts have been rolling over 滚在她的思想. She's been thinking about that. She's frightened now. She raced home. That means, 当然, race means to 比赛. But sometimes racing means to just travel very fast. So she's traveling very fast. And she screeched into her driveway. Now, in America, almost everybody has their own house. 有自己的房子. And, okay, there's a little bit of a road. It's called a driveway. From the public road to your house, maybe 停车房, this is called a driveway. So she came in there, she, coming down the road, she goes down the road and she screech. Okay, this screeching sound of rubber on the tires as she screeches in the driveway. Okay, the boys stopped right behind her. Ay, 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 ay. Here she is, and she's in the driveway. She can't go out, and the boys have stopped right behind her. 停在她的后面. Going on. Screaming for help. Okay, screaming for help. 她大喊叫. Screaming is 尖叫. Sometimes screaming is 大喊叫. 也是尖叫. Scream. Screaming. Help! Help! Okay. Alma leaped from her car. Leaped from her car. 跳下去. Okay. So we're talking about a very scared lady. Two young men in a car have parked right behind her, and she's screaming at the top of her voice, and she leaps from the car. Okay. Her husband came running. Okay. 她的丈夫, George. She cried, George! George! That car followed me home. That car followed me home. 那个车子跟着我回家. Of course, she is very, very upset, 非常激动. She doesn't know probably what she's saying or doing. She says, help, save me. Going on. One of the boys emerged and said, one of the boys emerged. What does it mean to emerge? It means to come out. If you emerge from something, you come out of something. Okay? One of the boys emerged from the car. Okay? And said, lady, we don't want to hurt you. Look in your back seat. OK， 这个妇人啊，妇人啊 ，We don't want to hurt you。我们的目标不是要害你。看你的后面的椅子，看你后面的椅子。Okay, so now you have the lady, her husband, and the two young men, or at least one of them said, look in your back seat, the back seat of your car. Okay, so going on, George approached the car and reached for the door, but it flew open. A big man scrambled out of the back seat and ran away. Interesting. So George, this is the husband. Fortunately, the husband approached 就靠近这个车子. He reached for the door just as the door flew open. Fly open means it just almost exploded. The door opened. Probably hit his hand. Okay. A big man. 很大的一个男人啊. A big man scrambled out of the back seat and ran away. What does that mean? He scrambled. He hurried. To scramble means to hurry. He hurried. 很急忙的 what? Out of the back seat. And he ran away. 从这个后面的这个椅子他就出来了跑掉 So he ran away. He ran away. Now the boys begin to explain why they followed her. We saw that man climb into your back seat. Somehow, the boys saw the man climb into the back seat of the car, said Bob. So this is one of the boys. And then Bill, the other one, said, we don't know or didn't know what to do. 不知道怎么办? Maybe they were too young or something. So they didn't know what to do, but they couldn't be too young because they had a driver's license, right? So we saw it. The other one said, yes, but we didn't know what to do. So when you came out, we tried to warn you, but you left so fast we couldn't. Okay, now, this is, well, I was going to say it's typical, but it's typical for all of us. If we have been thinking about something, you think about it. If you've been thinking about something, if you have been worried about something, if you have heard the news, and then you see two boys yelling at you, what happens? In your mind, you suddenly think that those two boys 肯定是坏人. Okay, so you're thinking this, your brain is playing a trick on you, and you do not stop to listen to what the boys are saying. Your mind is already turned off. And you can't think what, or you're not willing to pay attention to what the boys said. She just rushed into her car, got into her car, and sped away. Left so fast. You left so fast, they said, we couldn't tell you anything or say anything. Go ahead. George and Alma thanked the boys, and they returned to their own car. George and Alma thanked the boys, and they returned to their own car. Man, but they still have one more question to ask. One more question. But Alma called after them, hey, wait. Why did you follow me so closely? 你为什么那么紧紧地跟着我? Why did you follow me so closely? Why? And so here is the answer. We hoped that our bright lights would keep the man from getting up. 我们的希望，我们的目标 is that our bright lights, 很亮的前灯啊, would keep the man from getting up. Why? Because the lights were shining through the window, and the man, what? He was afraid to get up because people could see him, and probably the lady could see him too. So they were shining the lights, so that it would force the man to stay down low. And it worked. And it worked. So, there you have the story. And the human mind does strange things. She could have and should have heard the boys warning her, but she didn't. She was too worried. Okay, let's take a look how you can write to us if you'd like. theoldprincipal@gmail.com. That's our email, Daniel the teacher. And our website, 我们的网站 www.theoldprincipal.org. Hey, it's been great speeding along through another lesson. And I hope that you will join us next time also. Bye-bye for now.